Um,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Garima, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, Garima, you are from Sonipat district of Haryana,
Yes,
and you have done your political science and international relation as your optional, and bachelor in pharmacy and masters in information systems
yes, sir.
from BITS Pilani.
Yes, sir.
You are fond of reading self-help books,
Yes, sir.
and you have also done an internship for IPR.
Yes, sir.
So, let me first of all ask you something about Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, can you tell me some of the things why Haryana is known for the right reasons and for the wrong reasons?
Yes, sir. So Haryana is famous for its sports culture. It's said that majority of rice and wheat of India is produced in Haryana, and a major chunk of rice and wheat. I'm sorry, sir. So it's also called as industrial hub. So it's infamous for its sex ratio and so stubble burning.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. It's famous regarding its fame. Uh, so uh, I'm able to think that
Can
one,
you
sir.
think of Khap Panchayats?
Yes, sir. It's infamous for Khap Panchayats also, sir.
And what about the Babas of Haryana?
Yes, sir.
The
So
Ram
the
Rahim
cult.
and the
Yes,
Rampal.
yes,
So
sir.
people have kind of faith in those Babas, even though it is so advanced, agriculturally developed and
Yes,
otherwise. So that is why it is known for wrong reasons also.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now democracy in India, how do you think it is developing in this country, and what are its challenges? Can you tell me some of the institutions which actually strengthens democracy in India?
Yes, sir. So democracy has been developing in India. It can be seen in the representation of women as well as voter turnout. So various institutions that are responsible for ensuring democracy would be, so firstly, the Election Commission of India. So then our Supreme Court, our judiciary, so
Yeah.
legislature also.
Uh-huh.
And so certain challenges associated with our democracy is, so one is rising criminalization of politics, so excessive use of money and muscle power,
Mhm.
and sir, uh, raising of issues of caste and religion in the political discourse.
Free media,
Yes, sir. So free
that
media is
also an
also, yes, sir.
institution.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, Now coming to some other areas, let me ask you this thing. Uh, you know, the Prime Minister often talks about the ease of doing business.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me, when a foreign country comes here for doing business here, what are the hurdles it faces in the ease of doing business?
Yes, sir. So certain hurdles could be, so one is corruption and bribery,
Okay.
so red tapeism.
Mhm.
So then it takes a lot of time to get construction permits,
Mhm.
getting electricity connection. So then taxation laws, so many laws are there. So it creates a little confusion. So
Mhm.
then it's also said that the federal structure also creates confusion in the minds of the investors as to what comes under the center, the state.
Okay, good, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Recently, the government of India brought out a scheme which is called Swamitva.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me why it was necessary and what is this scheme?
Yes, sir. So the scheme was announced on the Panchayati Raj Day, and the scheme is regarding digitization of land records. And so the necessity was,
Which land records?
oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Which part of the land record?
Sir, I'll have to check.
Then
I'm
the
sorry,
land
sir.
records are already there.
Yes, sir.
So which is that which was creating problem? That part.
Sir, I'll have to read upon that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
just
sir.
go and read.
Yes,
It
sir.
is that Abadi Day. You see, the Abadi, the Lal Dora. Outside Lal Dora, we had all the records. But the problem was regarding the area which is comprising of the Lal Dora, where you did not know whose land belongs to whom. So that was the Swamitva thing.
Thank you, sir. I'll read
Okay.
upon that, sir.
Nagpalji.
Thank you, sir.
Garima,
Yes.
what is this day today?
Uh, I'm not able to recall, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
You would have thought famous May Day. You heard of May Day?
So it's used by the armed forces, Mayday, but I'm not sure, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
That is a distress call.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mayday is known for something else, that
I'll have to check,
in
sir.
the
I'm sorry,
factories,
sir.
etc.
I'm sorry, sir.
For workers.
I'm sorry, sir.
Labor Day, as in our country they call it Labor Day.
I'll read upon that, sir.
Okay. Just few weeks back, Civil Services Day was celebrated.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
What is it about? I mean, why it is celebrated?
Yes, sir. So it's about the contribution of civil servants in the promoting Indian development. So mostly it's about that.
And I mean, why we sort of celebrate it year after year to generally emphasize what? I mean,
So-
other than contributions of the civil servants, as you say,
Yes, sir.
to emphasize what? To remind civil servants of what?
Sort of their duty towards the constitution, towards the vulnerable sections of the
Mhm.
society, and upholding the spirit of the constitution.
The Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi,
Yes, sir.
he gave a specific message for the civil servants last time. When was this? When was this day celebrated?
So somewhere in the last week, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall.
Don't worry. He gave two specific important messages, advice to the civil servants. What was it?
I'm sorry, sir. I'll have to read up on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Garima, Pol Science and International Relations. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard a term called surveillance capitalism?
So I've not heard of it, but I can
Okay.
attempt.
All right.
So surveillance capitalism can be associated with the social media platforms, where they keep track of all the data and all our activities, and they are using that data.
Monetizing it.
Yes, monetize commercial. Yes, sir.
Okay. You must have studied power, authority, and influence.
Yes, sir.
And power, authority, and legitimacy.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the relationship between power, authority, and influence?
So that I'm not aware of.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir.
Between power, authority, and legitimacy?
Yes, sir. So it said that authority equals power plus legitimacy. So authority is legitimate power.
Okay. You must have studied Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau.
Yes, sir.
Very briefly, the difference between their conceptualization
Yes, sir.
of the state of nature.
Yes, sir. So Hobbes, he gives a pessimistic view of state of nature. He says that life is short, nasty, poor, and brutish in state of nature. So that's why a state needs to be created. So Locke, he says, he gives a optimistic view, and he says that we need to create a state. Sorry, sir. Life is good in state of nature, and the need to create state is to reduce insecurities. That is there in state of nature.
Related to private property?
Yes, related to the rights of life, liberty, and property.
Okay.
And sir, regarding Rousseau, so I just know about general will. I'm sorry, sir.
General will.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the concept of general will.
Very well. Do you think that the general will, as you understand it, is under severe challenge as far as Indian democracy is concerned?
So one challenge could be seen in the form of the first past the post system, that not everyone may vote for the party that wins, but still, if it is able to get majority of the votes, they are able to occupy the official positions.
Excellent.
And so other could be that we are seeing a lot of community based hate speeches, and even from our elected representatives. So that could be seen as not being reflective of the general will.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you, sir.
You must have studied Karl Marx also.
Yes, sir.
What is dialectical materialism?
Sir, I'll have to read up. I'm sorry, sir.
What about alienation?
Yes, sir. So he says that the capitalist mode of production, it alienates an individual at four. It alienates an individual at four stages.
What is the main reason for that?
So because of the mode of production that we have.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Saxilali?
Garima,
Yes,
though
sir.
you did not know the importance of first way. Never mind.
But you know something about the various labor laws
Yes, sir.
prevalent in the country.
Yes, sir.
What are those? Just name the
Yes,
laws.
sir. One is the code on wages. So second is on occupational OS. Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to
Okay.
recall the exact names.
Industrial Disputes Act.
So these are different laws which.
I want to know whether you have some idea about these laws.
So not very much.
Okay, never mind. Acha, you are also a computer engineer.
Yes, sir.
You deal with the hardware part or software?
So we were taught the basics of both,
Both, huh?
while I
Okay.
studied at BITS.
Okay. See, you know that there are some guidelines for handling the computer wastes.
Sir, I'll have
Management
to
of computer waste. Are you aware of that?
So I know about the e-waste management rules, but specifically I'm not sure about the computer hardware part, if there are any guidelines on that.
Normally, if a computer is out of order, we sell it to the kabadi wala or somebody. That is not the correct
A way to
method.
yes.
We have to. Okay. So let me discuss with you about the foreign policy. You are a student of international relations. How do you compare the foreign policy of India as of date with the Nehruvian foreign policy?
Yes, sir. So Nehruvian, so one major difference could be seen, so first in the relations with respect to United States and Israel. And so there's continuity also that Nehruvian policy talked about the Panchsheel concept, and we are talking about the Panchamrit in foreign policy. And so during Nehruvian policy, we saw non-alignment. And so the fact that we are not taking sides on the Russia-Ukraine crisis, it's being said that we are going back to the policy of non-alignment, which we had given up in the past few years.
Okay. Are you satisfied with India's foreign policy
So,
in the present global scenario?
So our stature has risen given the flurry of visits that we had in the past few weeks. But sir, our relations, especially with China and Pakistan, so a lot of work needs to be done there. And so it has also been pointed out that our diplomatic presence is nowhere near as compared to China. So we need to work on that aspect also. There are a lot of countries where we do not have direct flights. So that also needs to be worked upon.
Okay. Can we take over the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Gilgit and Baltistan
So we
as
can,
promised by the government?
so we can militarily, but it'll create a lot of, firstly, backlash at the international institutions, and even the population, people who live in the region, they might not, they also might not like the forceful acquisition of the region. So a better way would be to develop a consensus, and when people are ready, only then include it in India.
Okay. One last question, brief.
Yes.
What is the role of diaspora in the formulation of foreign policy of a country?
Yes, sir. The Prime Minister has called them as cultural ambassadors, and they enhance our soft power. And sir, in the past few years, we have seen that they played a huge role in helping us resolve certain issues. So one example is of the civil nuclear deal, that Indian diaspora played a huge role when there was opposition. So similarly, during the Kerala crisis also, we received a lot of, there was an offer of help from the Indian diaspora in the Middle East. So they play a huge role.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So you scored pretty well in your 10th class examination and your
Thank you, sir.
percentage dropped significantly during your 12th boards. How do you explain that decline?
Yes, sir. So actually, I had not. I had just focused on the physics, chemistry, and maths part as I was preparing for IIT JEE, and that led to a huge decline in my marks, especially the English subject.
What changes do you see in the Eurasian policy of India as compared to the last decade?
Yes, sir. So we have been collaborating with them at a faster pace, as can be seen in the in induction of India in the SCO organization. Then a Central Asian Security Dialogue also has been institutionalized, and we received the 5 foreign ministers of the stans, and we have been making it a point to improve our relations with these nations, the trade relations, natural resources deals are being made. So we have improved our collaboration with these countries.
But my question was with regards to Eurasia and not specifically Central Asia.
So Eurasia, I'm not able to understand whether I should speak about the Europe part or the Asia part, or that's why I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, with context to East Europe, how our foreign policy has evolved over the period?
So with regards to East Europe, I'll have to read up on that, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, since you come from Haryana, recently there was this policy of private job reservation. Vis-a-vis other states and with regards to competitive federalism, how this policy would impact the business culture of Haryana?
Yes. So one negative impact of the law is going to be is that it's going to increase the cost of production for the firms, and it's a step back in our endeavor to improve ease of doing business, and it's going to bring back Inspector Raj. And one other thing is there are talks. There have been certain speculations that the corporate groups, they might move from Gurgaon, Faridabad to the region of Noida. So in that way, we are going to lose out on the economic aspects.
Do you see any coherence with regards to the party at the state and party at the center? If there are different parties at the state and the center, and if there are same parties at the state and the center, does that make any difference to the development of a region?
So it has been observed that when there are same parties on central and state levels, then the areas of tussle and the crisis of federalism is less as compared to when there are different parties, because there have been allegations that funds are not devolved on time, or that the center is trying to the party at the center is trying to encroach on the powers of party at the state. So in that way, better development takes place if similar parties are on the state as well as central levels.
So can we say that similar parties at the state and the center increases the degree of quasi-federalism and shift towards the unitary form of government? Is that a challenge to Indian federalism?
So that could be a challenge to Indian federalism, because the definition of federalism is devolution of powers. So we can't be certain if there are both parties at the same parties at the center and state, that devolution of powers is not going to be there, or funds or functions. It has been observed that better devolution takes place. So and the states where there are different parties, in those cases, the issue of governors encroaching on the powers of the state government, and the state coming up with different schemes. So that has been observed. So in that way, wastage of resources also takes place.
What are the 3 reforms to Indian federalism that you would propose?
So one would be regarding the office of governor. So second would be regarding fiscal federalism. We say that there is a lot of delays in compensations and finance commissions. The formula that it comes up with. So a second would be that, and so third would be the so interstate disputes. If we are able to improve on interstate disputes, especially the river water disputes, so that could bring a lot of change.
Okay, my last question. What was the last self-help book that you read and your learning outcomes from that book?
Yes, sir. So I've been reading Atomic Habits by Mr. James Clear, and so the lessons that he talks about. So one is that if you want to manage, so if you want to manage something, then first we have to measure it. So one is that, and it has helped me in improving my social media, the time that I spend on social media. And he talks about compounding effect, the 1% improvement. So I've been trying to do that in improving my reading habit only. That I try to read 10 pages at least. So these are two things that have helped me a lot.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, so Garima, we'll take you back to the waiting room for a few
Yes,
moments, and
yes.
we'll bring you back for our feedback.
Yes.
Okay, just
Yes.
remain there.
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you, sir.
So Garima, first of all, tell us, when is your interview fixed?
So it's on 12th of May.
10th of May. So you still have about 9 days.
So 12th of May.
12th of May. So
Yes.
11 days are there.
Yes.
Okay. This is the first time you'll be appearing at the interview?
So second time.
Second time. How many marks did you get in the last time?
So 176.
176?
6.
176. Okay. So this time we will definitely like you that you should be somewhere around 200.
I would like that very much, sir.
Yeah. How have you done your revision mains?
So this time I think I have done quite well.
Better than the last time?
Yes.
Okay. Were you allocated to any service last time?
No, sir.
No. So first of all, tell us, how do you feel your performance went in this mock interview?
So I need to work on the knowledge part a lot
Okay.
regarding the political science questions. So one was that, and in between I got a little nervous while giving answers.
Okay. So Garima, first of all, there is no need to be anxious.
Yes, sir.
You are good. There is no doubt about it, and you can be really outstanding. Now, talking about your skills and attitudes,
Yes, sir.
they are very good. Your communication
sir.
skill, articulation skill, everything is fine. You have pleasing manners, your presentation is fine, your structuring of sentences, everything was fine. And your body language was also fine. And first of all, let me ask you this question pointedly. What is it that you are going to wear at the time
Sir,
of
a
interview?
sari.
A sari.
Yes, sir.
That will be fine.
And so, if you give me permission, I would like to show you the image also to ask you if it looks all right or not.
What kind of sari? Just describe.
So it's
Light
a
color?
pink color sari.
Is it what, fuchsia pink?
So that I'm not sure of. Fuchsia is a little darker, but I'll just show you the image if you allow me afterwards.
Pink,
Can you wear
will
a
it not
more
be-
pastel color?
So I
Something
can.
like this, or lighter, and like your dupatta.
So
You know,
yes, I
is that
can
typical
find-
UPSC sari?
So that's what I was suggested last time not to wear, not to look like. So actually, one of the mocks that I attended, so they said that you're not going there for a housemaid, house help's position. So look well. Do not look like an ayah. Those was his real words.
Very disparaging.
Yes.
I think you can wear a pastel light color
Yes.
bordered sari with a matching blouse or
A sober
a
color
black
would
blouse.
always be
There's-
better.
Yes.
Yeah, sober color would be fine, and definitely wear a sari. There's
Yes.
no doubt about it. Now coming to the skill part, you are absolutely fine. Attitude also, except for the fact that at points it gave an impression that you were slightly nervous about it.
Yes. Sir.
There is no need to feel nervous. In fact, the time when you entered the room, you should have this kind of a feeling that here is a challenge which has come before me, and I must meet this challenge because such opportunities come rarely.
Yes.
So if you have that thing, you will definitely perform well.
I'll
And
try, sir.
secondly, before you go, you read the newspapers which are lying in that room where you are going to wait, so that you know about the current affairs
Yes.
which has happened on that day. take a glass of water before that so that your mouth is wet, and then there will be a piece of paper and pencil in front of you.
Yes.
So you can always gather your thoughts and you could come out. If you are having any doubts about a question, you can always ask the member again. And your eye contact should be generally with the person who is asking the question, but occasionally scan would be better.
Yes.
Now, coming to the how to answer the questions. One thing is there that always, first of all, let the question settle down inside your head, and do the churning process. Find out in what way I can answer this question. There can be different parts of the answer. Part number 1, 2, 3, 4. Choose the most important part first. For example, in case of say Central Vista, now some question is asked. So why Central Vista? So there will be many reasons. So come out with the most important reason. For example, it can be that greater seating space, so the delimitation is likely to take place and so on. All offices will be brought in one place. The lesser distance and coordination will be easier and so on. So come out with the most important part of it. The second is, if there is a controversial question, try to give both sides of the picture, pros and cons.
Yes.
And then if they insist on asking you what are your views, then always follow the official line. Whatever is the official line, follow that. It can be regarding reservation, it can be regarding Article 370, it can be regarding demonetization, it can be many questions on, such controversial topics can be there. And third is always back it up with examples. So the example would always be in support of you. Now coming to some specific areas where I would like to suggest that you read on that.
Yes, sir.
Because knowledge part is the only thing where you need to slightly brush
Yes.
up, and you have still about 12 days with you, so you can really prepare very well. Since you come from Haryana, naturally the questions regarding Haryana, one question was asked regarding reservation.
Yes, sir.
Now you said it is going to increase the cost of production. How?
So they will have to create forms in which people from Haryana, separate documents will have to be prepared for people from Haryana
Yeah.
and outside.
Yeah.
So it'll increase the cost, because then they will have to sometimes they may have to pay bribe also, or keep different accountants. So that was the reason which I.
Well, that may be one of the reasons, not the most important
Yes,
reason.
ma'am.
The most important reason is something else. So the most important reason would be that you will say that it is going to discourage the industries in coming over to Haryana,
Yes.
and it will, as you rightly said, it is going to lead to a migration of industries from this part to some other state like Uttar Pradesh or Gujarat or some other example.
Yes.
And secondly would be that the merit may be compromised also, because
Yes, sir.
you will have to select people from there.
Haryana only. Yes.
So these are the way you will answer the question. The second was regarding the wrong reasons, relating to Haryana. So there you have to define
Yes, sir.
sex ratio, then babas and khap panchayats and all those things.
Yes, sir.
Right reasons, there are many, you know that. So you must also understand the significance of Sonipat. So the historical part,
Yes, sir.
that it was one of the
Five villages.
yeah.
Yes.
So you must know that Mahabharata story. So everything about Haryana, it should be at fingertips. Agricultural,
Yes, sir.
main crops you mentioned.
Yes,
So main crops. Then when you talk about main crops, then a question logically may come is the wheat rice wheat paddy rotation. What
Yes,
are
sir.
the problems it is facing and so on. Then about the culture of Haryana, about industries of
Yes.
Haryana, about the tourist spots of Haryana, and anything and everything about Haryana, strategic location, why Haryana is favored as a destination by the industry, so roads and labor disputes. One of the very good thing about Haryana is that the labor disputes are very less, and that is why people want to come to this particular.
Yes.
Then the question was asked about the labor codes. So there you must know, because industrial safety and all
Yes.
about 24 acts have been merged into
Yes, sir.
codes. So why it was done, and you should be able to tell the
Yes, sir.
codes also. And then of course the subject, your own subject, pharmacy and information systems. So that you have to prepare very well. Lot many questions can come then. Question may come about Pilani also, because bits Pilani you have done it.
Yes, sir.
Then of course the most important thing would be the political science and international
Yes.
relations. So you must prepare on India's relations with the neighbors and India's relations in the context of world order. So China, United States, United Kingdom, Russia, you must understand the punch shield, the non-aligned movement, how things have changed. The recent Jaishankar statement literally saying that we will be taking decisions on our own and we will not like to be influenced.
Yes.
If you can talk about the human rights, we can also talk about human rights. So you must know everything about that. And then the Russia-Ukraine problem and the sanctions imposed by United States against Russia,
Yes.
and the threat of imposing sanctions against India also. So these are some of the things regarding that. The role of United Nations institutions.
Yes, sir.
So what role they are playing in the world order? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And because the world has become now literally a village now, so anything happening in one part of the world gets reflected. That is what is called as that the problems now they don't require passports to travel from one part
Yes.
of the world to another. Then about political science, you were asked many questions. You have to prepare some of those things fairly
Yes, sir.
well about the political theory,
Yes, sir.
political science, and then of course the polity. So constitution you should read article by article. Do not go for the help books. Read the bare acts, the
Yes.
constitution, the criminal procedure code, the IPC, and also one thing, because you are a lady, so a lot many questions may be asked regarding empowerment of women
Yes.
and gender sensitization. What are the laws which have been formulated for protection and empowerment of women, whether it is POSH, whether it is domestic violence, whether it is dowry prohibition, whether it is regarding the medical termination of pregnancy and so on.
Yes.
All the laws you should know. And then the public policies related to this. For example, the Ujjwala Yojana for women.
Yes.
Similarly, the Swachh Bharat campaign, construction of toilets for women and so on. So public policies. So women is one. Second is children.
Yes, sir.
You must know what is Kailash Satyarthi's mission and the Khoya Paya for the Bachpan
Portal.
Bachao.
Yes, sir.
So all those things you should know. Then what are the laws? So Juvenile Justice Act, POXO, and
Yes,
so
sir.
there are many such acts. Similarly, senior citizens.
Yes, sir.
So senior citizens, someone comes to you saying that our son has driven us out of the home.
Yes, sir.
What remedies provided? So you must know which are the remedies. So senior citizens.
Yes,
The
sir.
fourth is regarding the scheduled caste, then scheduled tribes, handicapped people. So these are some of the laws and public policy you should prepare.
Yes, sir.
Then how district administration works, particularly the role of the Panchayati Raj institutions.
Yes.
So the role of panchayat samitis, Zilla Parishad, you should know. And role of the collector. Now people sometimes say that the role of the collector, that it is public policy implementation. That may be a role, but the most important role of the collector is revenue administration. So you must prioritize. Again, as I say, prioritize.
Yes, sir.
So revenue administration, then magisterial functions, and then you come to coordination functions. So agriculture, production, irrigation, power, and so on. Then come to the elections. So you must understand the election process. So many questions can come on elections, simultaneously holding of elections,
Yes, sir.
recalling of public representatives, state funding of elections, e-governance, so e-voting.
Yes, sir.
So these are the issues connected with the election. Role which was played by the Election Commission recently, why it was criticized. So this again may come.
Yes.
What is the role of the collector in elections? You must know the process and who are the people. So presiding officer, polling officer, and so on.
Yes.
So this is nut and shell about it. And anything else you would like to ask us about it?
Yes, sir. So two things.
Yeah.
So one is regarding. So I had given other mocks at other institutes also, and it was pointed out that I was talking too fast. So last week I was talking very fast. I had worked on it. So sir, did you see any?
No, it's perfectly
it was
fine.
okay.
It's perfectly fine.
And so the other one was. I have to come from Sonipat. So would you recommend taking any other mocks, or should I work on the content part now?
I would, but this is my personal view.
Yes, sir.
Don't go in for too many mocks. It will confuse you unnecessarily. You have had this mock, we have given you exactly how it should be.
Yes, sir.
And we are very honest about what we are
Yes.
feeling about it. You are very good, there is no
Thanks.
doubt about it, but you can be outstanding also. And
Yes, sir.
since you have time at your disposal, you'll be able to do that very, very easily. Okay? It is a challenge and you must take that challenge.
Yes, sir. So I should work on the content part more.
Content part, more and more, read more and more.
Yes, sir.
Take, if we are working somewhere, take leave
Yes, sir.
and just, and you can visit one particular office. So the collector office in Sonipat or any other office, just to have a first-hand knowledge.
Yes, sir.
What are the functions of the Panchayati Raj? What are the functions of the collector and so on? That will give you a fairly good idea.
Yes, sir.
And one point which you mentioned was why the famous, that is about the sports women of Haryana.
Yes, sir.
So that again is important, and they may ask this question also.
Yes, sir.
And one question again will come is SYL and Chandigarh.
Yes, sir.
So the dispute with Punjab, it may always come
Yes.
in the form of a question. So then associated problems like drugs which are happening in Punjab, what effects it has got in Haryana and so on.
Yes.
So anything about Sonipat, Haryana, political science, international relations, your own pharmacy and information systems, and reading self-help books.
Yes,
So
sir.
prepare one book very well, so that if they ask you any questions. on
Atomic
that-
Habits is very good.
Yes, sir.
Good, and I mean, you can really.
I have
speak
read it
about
5 times.
Oh, wonderful.
So
So
they-
just it's
yeah.
3-4 basic features.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Show us what sari you proposing.
So it's in my
Oh, yes.
phone.
So it's
Yeah.
something like this. Go to the Google and see.
Yeah.
You will get all kind of.
Yes, sir.
Avoid the dark ones.
Okay, sir.
So where this kind of a light one, I think is pretty, very.
Yeah, yes. I know it's Nandini
Yeah.
is wearing it.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
go to Nalli. You will find it. You ask them UPSC sari chahiye.
Yes.
Or ask your mother to give it to you.
Yes.
She can always give it to you. So that's about it. And let me assure you
Yes, sir.
that don't feel nervous. You will be do exceedingly well. This time I can expect that since you got 176 marks last time, you will come near 200. Just go and study.
Yes, sir.
Put a table and a chair against the wall. Don't face the door.
Virgos have this typical thing of underestimating themselves.
And any other questions?
So actually one came to my mind when you asked
sure.
about self-help books. So I have read a lot, but so when questions are asked, so should I go back and read them again because it's difficult to read them again, or should I just look at the summaries
Just look
now?
at the summary. You
3-4 points each.
Yeah.
Meet
That'll
the
be
cuts.
fine. Okay, sir. So because in other mock, I was asked to list 10 books, and they picked one, and I had forgotten a lot
No.
about it.
Normally
So-
this does not happen. I don't know why. 10 books you were asked. The mocks. Okay, the mocks.
In one of the mocks, yes, sir.
Such a things don't happen.
So the book I had read
They
the
are just going
earliest.
to ask you which is the book which you have read recently.
Yes,
And
sir.
you can name that book.
So 2-3 books would be.
बहुत है,
Even
बहुत
one
है.
will be.
One will be sufficient.
Yes.
Know it well.
And then
Yes,
of
sir.
course certain things about the NGOs who are doing very well in women, like
Yes, sir.
Lijjat Papad. Lijjat
Yes.
Papad is an NGO. Seva is there. Mahila Cooperative Bank is there. So find out some good NGOs who are working for that.
Yes.
So such kind of things, you should prepare, particularly from the point of view. Then hijab, of course, that issue, and you should. And some of the controversial question, again at the cost of repetition, I'm saying, balance out.
Yes.
You never give one side, give two sides. But if they insist, then you can give the
Yes.
official side.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That will do very well. And international relation, prepare.
Yes,
very well,
I'll
the
work on that,
relations.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, you'll do very well.
Thank you, sir.
Our best wishes to you.
Thank you very
So
much.
can
sir.
I
All
have
the best.
one point quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Since you are into reading books, there is this book that I've read recently, 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
And chapter 3 and chapter 4 of that book would really help you in interview. In a way, they would help you to actually conduct yourself in front of the panel. So you can just read chapter 3
Yeah.
and chapter 4. No need to read the entire book.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
We'll see you as a civil servant soon.
Yes, I wish that too, sir. Thank you, sir.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.